What's up? What's up? What's up, my beloveds? I think I'm live, right? Am I live? I think I'm live. Anyway, what's up, beloveds? I'm Autumn, the Enlightened daughter. For those of you who don't know me, and for those of you who do, welcome back, High Vibe Tribe. Um, this is just like a quick conversation. I don't even know why I decided to go live. Was feeling very like vulnerable. And I think a lot of it has to do with the launch that I'm doing for the coaching courses in English, right? So I have the working men that I'm working with, 25 to 55, and we're dealing with like male intimacy and trying to move them all towards gaining more success in their life, right? Whether that's in your business, your money and your finance, or your relationships, love and sex, or health and fitness, or another area of your life, right? Your area of focus. But that is the goal right now, to reduce male suicide, to encourage male intimacy, to create a safe container for them, right? And then I have the launch that I did for the beautiful women that have had cancer, and are done with their treatments and are just trying to bring their sexy back, right? And gain more pleasure in their sexual experiences. So I launched both of those recently. Um, for the women, that's going to be kind of like a group as well as an individual course that I'm going to be launching for November 11th, right? The 1111 portal. And today I wanted to talk about it because it's the 13th, right? Which is the number of the divine feminine. And as I was sitting with all of these energies and just like emailing and creating reels and ads and posts and all this stuff, and I was like, why do I feel so vulnerable but motivated, right? Like it's very confusing for me. Um, it's nerve-wracking, I think, because I've always been my own entity, right? I'm my own brand. I'm my own employer. Like I am like everything, right? In my company right now. So having to learn all these different arms and having to, really get a handle on it is a little bit nerve wracking. And I think that's the part that's been kind of like keeping me stagnant and frozen in my business is the stuff that I'm not doing that's creative, the stuff that I'm not doing that's pouring into like an individual, right? But it's like the other stuff that goes on behind the scenes that I'm kind of like, okay, I need to take ownership of this for. Um, but it's refreshing because every step I take further into this, every step I take moving further and further, following this divine purpose, following the guidance that's coming through me is making me stronger, is giving me confidence, is reassuring me that I'm going in the right direction, right? And I think the reason that they guided me to share this with all of you, in this like moment of vulnerability and stuff like that is because, when we're following our purpose, like, yeah, we're doing something that feels good because we know that it's coming through our heart, but it can also be really scary, right? It can make you feel really vulnerable. You can feel like you're off track, or um, maybe you misunderstood the message, or imposter syndrome, right? And all these things like start coming up as you're moving on further and further down the line. And, that's a reminder of our vulnerabilities. It's a reminder of maybe some of the things that we've learned along the way, our belief systems that might need to be cleaned up, right? Triggers that might need addressing, right? Like these things come up so that we can like shine a light on it, give it space, heal it, transmute it, whatever you want to call it, and move on, right? So as I'm moving on this path and having to do, some of the things that I'm not comfortable with, I'm moving forward because I know I know my purpose is bigger than my fears, right? I know my purpose is bigger than my lack of knowledge in a certain area at this time, right? Like I don't need to be a marketing expert right now to know that I need to keep moving forward with what I'm bringing forth into the collective, right? Like I know without a shadow of a doubt that there are millions of men right now that need the help that I can give them through this container. So am I going to stop doing what I'm doing because I'm not really great at algorithms and SEOs and all that shit yet? Absolutely not. right? I'm gonna keep putting shit out there until I figure out when I'm supposed to put it out there, or somebody gives me some guidance, or an email. I don't know, the information, the wisdom and knowledge. God will send it to me. Thank you, God, for that. And put it in a format in which I can understand it, right? Because I know there's all this information out there, but what it's like, you're speaking to me in German. What the fuck are you saying, right? Like that's how I look at a lot of it, right? So I think as you're moving forward, with your goals, with your dreams, as you're, coming up with your desires, and you're really following through with stuff, understand that, like, there's going to be times where things suck, and where you're going to come up with stuff where you're like a fish out of water, right? And maybe you don't really know what to do or what the next step should be, but it's like, most of this path I didn't have the steps. I just was picking up breadcrumbs of stuff, and I was like, huh, that's interesting. I will definitely say this on this journey, that staying open and curious is super important, right? And it really helps you to kind of tap into the magic of this universe even more, right? And you get so much guidance and so much clarity when you just stay open and stay curious. I don't know how else to say it. Like, I've just gotten way more curious about life. And when things show up, I'm kind of like, huh, that's interesting. Wonder what that's about. Wonder what this incident's about. Wonder what caused that accident. I wonder what this energy is about. I wonder why this person was brought into my life. I wonder where that conversation came from, right? Like, everything is kind of like, huh, okay, all right. What's going on over here? What's going on over there, right? So, as you're moving forward on your purpose, as you're moving forward on your path, don't be discouraged when you hit these little challenges and obstacles, right? Because they're like iron sharpening iron, right? It's just like honing you for the next level of yourself, honing you for the next step, honing you for, what's on the other side of, sorry, one second, guys. Um, what's on the other side, of all of this nonsense. So don't give up. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable. Don't be afraid to be authentic about what it is that you're doing, right? Like, you're coming through your heart space. Done is better than perfect, right? It's like, you just need to keep going and kind of figure it out along the way, right? Like, be the toddler in the room that's trying to figure out how to walk, and sometimes you make a few steps and you fall, and sometimes you make it further than others, and sometimes you just bust your behind exactly where you're at. You didn't even move, you just hit the ground, right? Like, it is what it is, right? So don't give up your fight. Don't quit on yourself. Don't think that there isn't another way, right? Like, there's always other options. There's always other um opportunities. I think I was listening to Teal Swan. It was Teal Swan and somebody else recently, who was speaking about just like our trials and tribulations, and kind of like the things that we go through. Who was it? Teal Swan? It might have been my wealth coach, Kristen Wanch. She's on Facebook. I don't know. Anyway, um, but it's like, the further we go into the darkness, the further we go into the muck, the further, down these rabbit holes and these trials and tribulations and twists and turns occur, right? Like, the greater opportunity on the other end of that, for blessings, for miracles, for abundance, for prosperity, for health, for healing, right? It's, if we're in a dual universe, right? Then if you have a lot of crap over here, that means you have a lot of blessings over here, right? So it's like, the closer you are kind of like to the center of things are a little, evenly balanced, but if you have a lot of chaos happening on one end of your spectrum, that means you have the absolute ability to have a lot of peace, calm, and clarity on the other end of your spectrum, right? You've gone so far in that direction that now when you turn around, you've created all these new pathways. Like there's even more opportunities, there's even more growth, there's even more blessings, there's even more miracles, there's even more grace on this side because of all of the shit that you have to deal with, right? So don't give up and don't get discouraged because things may not be going great, in a time frame in which you want it to be or you desire it to be. Just understand that, like, there is something really good and delicious going on. Understand that, like, on the other side of this fucking storm and stress and problem and issue or whatever you want to call it, right, is grace, is a blessing, is a miracle, is your strength, is your courage, is your fortitude, is your abundance, is your prosperity, is your health, right? Is that divine relationship, like whatever it is that you happen to be putting out into the universe, right? So you're being challenged and you're being honed right now to sharpen your skills, to grow and expand at a really deep level of yourself, right? To really expand yourself out into this universe and attract unto you all the things in which you desire, right? But it starts with you showing up. It starts with you being authentic. It starts with you allowing yourself to be vulnerable, right? Because the more vulnerable we are, the more pure we are, the less we have to hide, right? We can just stand here and be who we are, and then we give people the opportunity to really love us for who we truly are, right? Without all the masks on, right? And then we also give people permission to be that in which they are, right? So there's so many different levels to this, and it really starts with just opening up, right? And allowing yourself to just be and to just be vulnerable and to just put it out there, right? So it's a little nerve wracking, to do these launches and to put myself out there because I've been helping a lot of people for so long quietly, like that's really what it's been. It's been a subtle help in the collective, right? And I'm at the point now where I feel like I am being selfish if I'm not putting myself out there knowing that I can help more people, right? Like I feel like what are you hiding from, right? Like if you could help save another life tomorrow or today, then why wouldn't you do that? Because you're nervous about what? Like being on camera, because you're what? Like telling people that this is the stuff that you do and you're not perfect, and you're worried about like what, so I had to like work through all the fears and the judgments and the condemnations and the fucking negative voices in my head, and like I had to work through all of it, in order to like be here and to put this forth. But again, like the purpose was way bigger than my pain. The purpose is way bigger than my discomfort. The purpose is way bigger than my fear or hesitation or doubting myself, or whatever, this the imposter syndrome and all the shit that like we grow through. Like the purpose was way bigger than that, so I had to get the fuck over myself and be like, you're gonna sit here like a crying in the corner, or you're gonna like get the fuck up and go out there and let people know what you're doing because you want to help some people, right? People keep coming to you with the same fucking energy. Obviously it's a thing, you need to do something about it. You're the common denominator, bitch. Step up, or step aside. So anyway, I'm gonna leave it there because it's Friday and I'm tired. I know I'm probably look tired, but anyway, guys, thanks for listening. I love you guys so much. I love you. God loves you. Angels surround you. And I'm just here to support your transformation. So let's get it. Later, my beloveds.